Hey YouTube. So as you can see by the title, this is an extremely different video from what I would normally be posting up on this channel. It's something that I've been wanting to share for a long time, like, my learning experiences and just stuff that I've learned, and I'm just like, wow, like that's just amazing. Like I've always wanted to share it, but I just didn't know how to. And I've come to the conclusion that YouTube is the way to share it. So pretty much what these videos, it's going to be like a whole series pretty much, where I share my experiences with you and the difficulties and how I've overcome them. Just a disclaimer, my husband does know about these videos, and I will not be posting up anything he is uncomfortable with. By posting these videos, I'm not claiming to know that, I know everything about marriage, because I really don't. I have so much more to learn, and I am so open to learning more about marriage, whatever it takes, I'm aware that marriage takes a lot of work and, continuous work, not just like, I'll leave it for another time. It's like, it should be your number one priority in life if you are married. Well, that's just what I believe. When it comes to marriage, I base it on the Bible. So yeah, in this first video, the first, I suppose, episode of this series, I'm just going to be sharing a background of how we got married, what happened. Every marriage is different and starts out different, and I'm pretty sure my story is pretty different from a lot of everyone else's. So yeah, I'd like to share that first. I'll also be sharing what I came into the marriage with, baggage and all that sort of stuff. So, by the way, this is only my side of our marriage story. I won't be sharing my husband's side because he would need to be speaking for himself. Know what I mean? You can only speak for yourself or on your side of your couple-y thingy-mabobby, whatever. I need a dictionary. So let's get started. I would love to see other people post videos like this, especially on mommy channels, but I never see it. I'm actually quite nervous about posting this. Yeah, let's just get out of our comfort zone, shall we? Right, let's get straight into it. So, I'm gonna take you back to when my husband and I were engaged. We got engaged in 2011, and we started dating that same year as well. So we had been together for about 6 months. We met each other at the end of 2010. So yeah, 2010 we met each other in uni, and then 2011 around May we started dating. Then we got engaged in December, I think it was, or November or December, one of them. I'm so bad with dates. Please don't kill me, babe. I don't remember. It's November or December. I'll be surprised if he even remembers. But anyway, yeah. We got engaged around the end of the year in 2011. And we did not get engaged to get married immediately in 2011. I was 19. Yes, I was 19 and he was 22. Yeah, he was 22. And so we were still both studying. We were in uni. We were at the same uni. So our plan was not to get married immediately. Our plan was to just finish school and, get settled down first. Get a job and then get married. That was our plan. It was to get a job, save up for our wedding day, and get married. That was pretty much our plan. So we were looking at maybe 4 or 5 years time to get married, or 3, I don't know. Come 2012, around March, I found out I was pregnant with our daughter Felisa. And it was a surprise. We weren't expecting, we weren't trying to have a child. I mean, we had different plans, but someone else had other plans for us. So we were having a child. But at the time, I was not living with my then fiancé, now husband, and I told him that I did not want to live with him either until we were married. I didn't want to leave my mom and dad's house until we were married. That it didn't have to only do with religion. It was more to do with culture and respect for your parents. Any islander would know that. So yeah, I didn't want to leave the house. But of course, he didn't want to live away from me if I'm about to, have his baby, and, he just comes to visit me and his child. So, which is totally understandable, but that kind of pushed marriage a lot closer than we expected. And I got to admit that put a lot of pressure on both of us. Not so sure how much pressure it put on him. From what I understand, he was pretty confident to marry me. But me, on the other hand, I was skeptical, very skeptical. I was nervous. I was just like, I know marriage isn't no fairy tale, It was scary. It's just, as the pregnancy caught me by surprise, so did the plans to get married and the thought of it. And it was crazy. But I still stuck by what I believed to be right. I didn't want to move out of the house unless I was married to him. It actually took a few breakups for me to actually feel confident with marrying him. I don't know how to explain that in full depth, because we were going through a lot. I mean, we hadn't been together for that long. On top of that, we're both still really young, and then we have a baby on the way, and on top of that, we're trying to figure out to get married. Planning, are we going to get married now, or are we going to save it until later? The only reason why we wanted to marry soon was because of I'm not moving out until we are married. The only reason why we wouldn't get married is because we just didn't feel ready, So yeah, we had a lot of, there was a lot of arguments, and it was crazy. It was one hell of a roller coaster, I gotta say. But yeah, at the end, I think we broke up 3 times. The last time we broke up, I don't know, I realized, it made me realize, no matter, what happens, between us, how angry we get, I didn't want to be apart from him, ever. I just wanted to spend the rest of my life with him, and I was just like, okay, you know what, if that's the case, then why don't I just marry him? You know what I mean? So I think I just had to pretty much let go of my fears. I had fears of marrying him, and then he'll be some alcoholic, and then bash me when he gets home type of thing. I was scared to marry him in case he changes once I marry him. And my last fear was that I would marry him, and then 10 years down the track he'd cheat on me. So those were my fears that were kind of holding me back. Those were taught to me by my dad, by the way. He made sure that I didn't believe marriage was some fairy tale. So yeah, I was kind of I was being cautious, pretty much, which I believe every woman should be cautious when going into marriage. Every woman and man, not just women. So the breakup happened, we got back together, and I was just like, okay, let's get married. And we got married, and we had our daughter, and yeah. So yeah, that is the story of how we got married. After we got married, I was over the moon, and it was just wonderful. It was bliss, okay? Yeah, we were happy, and then especially when my daughter came, even more happier. But now I want to list the things, the main reason why I wanted to make these videos is the stuff that I learned or had to learn. In this first video, I will be talking about what I brought into the marriage, what I already knew. And so the first couple of things that I know about marriage, and that was a positive and that you should know, is that I knew my spouse would come first above everyone else. Mom, dad, everyone. Say for example, mom said, oh, I wish you would do this, I want you to do this, and then husband says, I don't want you to do that. You go with what your husband says, pretty much. So I already knew that. That's positive number 1. Positive number 2 was I knew that things wouldn't just belong to me anymore, that things would be ours. I'll put up this Bible verse. Reading this verse just says it all. What's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. So that meant my family's yours, his family's mine, all that sort of stuff. Another thing that I also knew was that, you know, since I was pregnant, our first child was coming along, I knew that I had to keep in mind not to put my child's needs first in front of my husband's. Now, I don't mean, say for example, my husband and my baby are hungry. I go serve my husband food first and let my baby cry. I don't mean that at all. Because your husband can go make his own food, you know, feed your damn baby first. You know what I mean? It's nothing like that. What it means is that when it comes to the attention that you give, you know, I think so many mothers or even fathers, they tend to just, you know, give so much attention to their kids, and, you know, your spouse gets left out. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not on purpose, but it does happen. I'm guilty of it. Even now, I find it hard to let my daughter go and sleep somewhere. But I know my husband would love that, because then he would get, you know, my full attention. Yeah, so I find it difficult to have my daughter be away from me, but it's something that I have to work on. Yeah, those were the things that I brought into the marriage that I knew and that I was aware of. There is just so much more that you need to know, and it's just crazy. The first thing that I needed to work on was trust. We're going to leave it there. This is going to go into our next video. My next video will obviously be about trust. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. I will see you in my next video.